Good morning, this is Crystal from the Rain Dance Ranch. Today I want to talk about basil. The first thing I want to say about basil is that this is probably one of the best, most rewarding herbs or plants that you can grow if you're just getting started with growing anything edible in the garden in the Phoenix area. Now, I planted this basil here back in February, and it is now November, so I haven't had them for a year yet. This one also I planted back in February. This one here that I trimmed back hard, it was a volunteer, and I just let it ride. And it just kind of, it was interesting how it worked out. Middle. So I'm gonna see how long I can keep these going. Now this one earlier this morning was big and tall and bushy like these, and I just started trimming it back a little bit to give this tomato a little more light, and to give these petunias a little more light. And also I think these are calendulas down here, and I really want those girls to grow. So and then also the tomato will get more morning sun. So I decided to go ahead and do a big harvest. And I also harvested this little piccolino basil. It's either piccolino or Greek basil. I'm not sure which one this is. I'd have to look in my archives. And I'm not real thrilled with the way that one looks. I think I'm gonna pull that up and put it in a pot. It's supposed to, I'm hoping that I can get it to look a little more ornamental, but I did harvest a bunch of that, and so let's take a look at what I ended up with. So here are some leaves that I just pulled, and I'm going to be using them, and I included some of the piccolino leaves. I don't know if you can see any of them in there. This might be a piccolino. I'm not sure. No, that's probably not. Well, I pulled out whatever piccolino leaves I could find, which there weren't a lot, and just mixed them up in there. So these are all ready to go. And then I'm experimenting to see how best to store these in the kitchen. So last week I took some leaves like this and some leaves that were still on the stem like this or like this, and I stored them. I rinsed them and made sure they were very dry, and then I put them in a baggie, wrapped up in a paper towel inside a baggie, and put them in the refrigerator. And that was like a couple days ago. And the leaves are a little soft, and I think, like I said, it's only been like 2 days, and they're at the point now where you wouldn't want to use them. So like I wouldn't, right now, I'm thinking that once you get these in leaf form like this, you can put them in the refrigerator for maybe 24 hours and they'll still be all good. But it's looking like, and I know this isn't like rocket science, most of you probably know this already. You want to harvest the leaves and then eat them fresh, which is why they sell them at the grocery store. And that's how I used to always do my basil, is buy those plants at the grocery store. And then I learned that you can propagate them and continue growing them on, and they're actually perennials. You can perennialize them. So that's what I'm trying to do. But anyways, so now what I'm going to do is, I noticed that in my little baggie I had some of the leaves were still on their stems. I didn't totally de-stem them, and those looked a little more robust. So I'm going to store these in a baggie in the refrigerator and see if I can get a little more life out of them. So maybe they will last for 3 days in the refrigerator and stay a little more crisp after 3 days is what I'm hoping. So then that way I can just know that I can just come out every, twice a week and just prepare these like this, stick them in a baggie, and then I can have a little bit every day for 3 days or so. And then I'll, do it again. Because I really love my basil and it grows so awesome. Now, this is another thing that I'm doing. So this is the stems in water. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this on a windowsill in water outside of the refrigerator. And then this one I'm going to keep in the refrigerator for the next 4 days. And then I'm going to see which one does best. And I'm going to leave this, I'm probably going to cover this just because, well, I don't know if I'm going to cover it or not. I should probably do a third one. So there will be 2 in the refrigerator, 1 covered, 1 uncovered. This one is just going to be on the windowsill. And we can harvest from it. So maybe this would be the best way to utilize it. And then once a week I can come out, get a bunch of stems, stick them in water, and then grab them. But I don't know if they're going to stay viable that long, but they should, because as far as I know, they propagate in water. And then eventually, if they will root, and I could make plants out of them, I suppose. But really, to tell you the truth, I think this is going to be the best way to go. So let's see what happens, and then I may need to try other things after that. There's always like 10 different options of what you could do, so you try a few of them before you go to those other options. But really, the easiest thing to do is to just cut these off and stick them in water anyways, and then you have this beautiful plant on your windowsill, and you just grab a leaf when you need them. I'm also thinking about putting some grow lights under my countertops. How awesome would that be? Okay, so anyways, the other thing that I wanted to mention about the basil, like I said, the reason I wasn't really planning on harvesting them yet, but it is starting to get a little chilly, and like I said, these needed to get more sun. I wanted to create more sun in this bin. And these will probably be cut down hard relatively soon as well, because I want to get them cut down before we start having frost, which could happen in early December, like maybe after the first week of December. We usually don't have frosts. A lot of times we don't have frost until January and into February. But we can have them in December. So what I plan to do is, when we have the frost or it starts getting a little too cold at night, I'm going to come out and cover these with a plastic bin. And I may have to have different sizes of plastic bins to cover the various different plants. This will probably be finished by Thanksgiving, or probably by Thanksgiving these sunflowers will probably be finished, but I don't know, we'll see. I really figured these would just be, in here for a month and a half, 2 months, something like that, when I put them in. And then the tomatoes, I don't really know how I'm going to protect them. I was talking about this tomato over here, and I want to try to keep it bushy. And I need to do a little research, like low and bushy, so I can just cover it up. And then maybe it'll take off again after the cold season, and then I can get like an early crop I don't know. I am just experimenting here. And the other thing, well, I think that's all. So I'm gonna try to save this basil, and then next spring we'll have another nice bumper crop. And then I'm just gonna try to get as much out of it as I can until it gets cold. But everything's looking super happy, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, look, a bumblebee. Well, not really a bumblebee. Where is he? Hello, bee. Was that his little face? Am I getting it? I can't see. I see him in with my eyes, but I don't. There he is. They're so cute. What do you see there that you like? Maybe he's a predator bee and he's eating some microscopic things that I don't want on my plant. Bee going to town on my basil. I guess there's a flower coming up. These things have flowers like every day. I'm out picking flowers off. All right. So thanks for watching. Rain Dance Ranch. When it rains, go out and dance.